Hello YouTube! Hello, hello. Another day, another vid. Well, not another day, but you get what I mean. This time we have Asuka. I did Asuka already with Steve, if I remember correctly. But this time it's gonna be like a more specific matchup, which is with Kaz. The thing is, I don't mind doing the same kind of matchups with Kaz because this is my main character. I don't want to have a lot of this. A lot of Kaz matchups in general on my channel. Which is, I think it's interesting to see. And it's gonna help Kazuya mains as well, so it's a win-win for me. Versus Hwoarang. I have Hwoarang vid on my YouTube performance. I'm pretty sure I do. I don't remember if I have a specific character like Kaz, but I'm pretty sure I do have it in general. I think Miguel vs Hwoarang maybe? I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay, so about Asuka. Sorry about the cough, by the way, I still have a bit of a cold. So in general, game plan. So in general, Asuka, everyone says she's a very defensive character, right? But everyone also knows that she can be very, very annoying because you literally can't do anything against her and she just presses all the buttons for free. What people say when they say she's defensive is exactly that you can't press buttons against her and she can do whatever the hell she wants. Because she has so many good defensive options, like, you know, this parry, right? It's annoying to deal with. Back 3, annoying to deal with. Can, also a panic move, annoying to deal with. What else? Sidestep 2, panic move, annoying to deal with. She even has a magic 4, you know, 11 frame magic 4 to just throw out. I don't think it's this combos, but it's something. Yeah, I don't think this combos. Maybe if you do something like this. Yeah, there we go. I'm not Asuka main and I still combo. It can work, right? She even has back 4, which is a 15 frame safe mid counter launcher. So she has amazing defensive tools. So in general, you have to be very, very careful and you have to be way more patient than normal as Kazuya when playing against Asuka, right? So that's the biggest thing you have to consider when you're playing this matchup. 100% you have to be patient, but you can't just be patient, because if you're just patient, you're gonna get run over. You have to know why you're patient and you have to know what to look out for. Like, you have to look out for back 3, for example. I'll list the moves a little bit later and what Asuka players like to do in general. Especially when they want to open you up, right? But before that, as I said, the general game plan is you have to be patient. Not to mention there are some Asuka players that are like very, very... what's it called? Like, they dance in the middle of the screen, basically. Like, they'll do stuff like this. Make it whiff, for example. This it's good on whiff. Or they'll do stuff like that. Well, no, this, make it whiff. Because this is hard to punish. They just dance in the middle of the screen, and they want you to get closer so they can use their panic move. So basically they can do this into this, right? Or this into this. So yeah, stuff like that is very, very common. Or they may just make this bait fast one into this. It's very, very common. So be very careful when it comes to Asuka players whiffing in general. Unless you know what is whiffed, you have to be very careful. But yeah, now let's go to the actual specifics, right? A little bit of specifics. So in close range, the thing about Asuka is she really doesn't have good jab pressure because her jab, like unlike normal jabs, like this jab, which is +1, right? +1 on block. Unlike something like that, she doesn't have a good one jab like this one. This is -2. So jab pressure isn't really something Asuka can do. But her jab pressure, I mean generic jab pressure. But her jab is unique. Because her jab is this and this. That's one of the main reasons her one jab that is not +1. To be honest, I feel like it should be even more minus than -2. But it is what it is. Like, since this exists and this exists, the jab basically automatically commands respect. Musician, hello. Let's stop practicing. True. So 1-1 and 1-3, this is basically a mix-up. So first let's talk about this jab string. When you see a jab in general, you have to be ready to either duck this low, which is -12, -11, my bad. With guys, we just have to wall staying 4-4. Or you can also low parry it, of course. You don't have to just duck it. Or you also have to be ready for this. Which if you obviously if you duck the low or low parry the low, you're gonna get hit, right? And this is a mix-up. Asuka players usually will use this at the end of rounds. Let's say, imagine a scenario, you have like 1 HP, Asuka player is like 50%, and Asuka wants to finish you off. She'll do the jab into a mix-up, which is like the easiest way to finish someone off, because either low or mid is coming, and you have to guess for your life, right? It's very easy for the Asuka player to use something like this. And it's like, it's logical for them to use it too, why not? But the big thing to remember is that after this mid, there's also a follow-up, like this one. And this is like a 10-hit starter if I remember correctly. So even after this, there's a high here. But usually, Asuka players stop here. But it's important to know this follow-up, this one. Because you have to know that you can't mash after this. This is a counter launcher. If you start mashing, you need to do a power push, right? Around everything. You will get counter launched. And as I said, it's not that high damage. Like Asuka does something like this, right? It's not that high damage. I don't know if she can do like something better. Let me try it. Maybe something like this. Maybe down forward 3 will work. Yeah, it will. Damn. Okay, that will be pretty good damage. So yeah, be careful. Something like this into that maybe. I'm not sure if that works. But yeah, I think Asuka players will know how to combo from there. Will do decent damage. Yeah, back 1+2 does not work. It's way too fast. So if you back 1+2 in the middle here, you'll still get countered. The animation doesn't even come out, just get automatically countered. It's not worth it. So you have to respect it. This is -5. So when it comes to jab strings, you have to know this one and this one. It's kind of a mix-up between this and this. It's pretty simple. You just have to. It's basically about remembering it. Basically what it's about. But now there are a lot of flowcharts in this situation as well. So this, when you get hit by this, you are 0. First, let's talk about the mid. Not mid, the low. Then we talk about the mid. So when you're 0, a lot of Asuka players will not, what's it called? Stop the pressure. Yeah. So they will keep on continuing the pressure. And they will do either something like, back 4 to continue pressure or counter at you if you do something way too slow. They can do magic 4 to do exactly the same thing. They can do down back 1, which is very common here, especially in high level players, because this flowchart, so this, do down back 1, this beats highs. As you guys can see. I can't do jabs, magic 4, or even an electric here. I could not do it. Or a 2 jab. So this flowchart is very, very common, because in 0 frames, jabbing is like one of the best things you can do. Or try to counter with a magic 4, right? But this flowchart beats that. That's why it's common. The other one that's also common is something like this. Because after this, also a lot of people like to sidestep. If you sidewalk too much here, you just get knocked down for free. Right? But of course, you just sidestep block, it won't really do anything. But the Asuka's still plus. I'll talk about this move a little bit later. But for now, let's talk about this one. So this, into down back 1, is a flowchart because of the high crush. But it's not only good because of that, it's also very, very good because the Asuka player can actually confirm if this hits or not. This, into 2, is a string. It's a hit confirmable string. It's very easy to hit confirm this most of the time. So this, let's say you jab here. What the fuck? Wait! Guys, what is this? Yeah, usually that won't happen, okay? I don't know what the hell that was. Like, I'm literally teleported. I just found a bug. There you go. Usually that's what happens. But I don't know why this is happening. Basically a bug. It's so weird. Yeah, they'll just confirm this. That was weird teleportation. Zafina Mishima, yeah. It's weird teleportation that happened. First time I've seen that, if I'm be honest. But yeah, be careful about that and using highs. But if you do mids instead, THC, thank for following. If you do something like a mid instead, like for example, you get hit by this and try to check with a 13 frame, like, you know, down 4-4. Or something like a back 2, decent checks. Then you get opened up for stuff like, I don't know, Magic 4, right? You get countered by this. And you also get opened up by something like, I don't know, maybe back 3. If you do the wrong move, this may crush some of the mids. Be careful, not back 3, but you get what I mean. Some options that will maybe crush, or something like even a sidestep 2. You'll get opened up to some stuff, is what I'm saying. Usually the scarier option is like Magic 4 there. Or back 4 if you do something a little bit slower. Like let's say you do, I don't know, Kazuya's down 4, which will trade with this, right? She gets a combo. So be aware of your options and know that you can be opened up by some other stuff. Especially if the Asuka player either even does a parry here, she even has that option. The scariest of them all is if the Asuka player is very good and actually notices what your options are, she can do this kind of parry. Which is like the scariest kind of parry, which I'm just happy that the Asuka players don't use much. Is that punch parry? It is punch parry. I want the leg parry. But yeah, if they notice a punch, for example, like a back 2, this can happen. Which one's the leg parry? There we go. Or if the Asuka player is good enough and notices you're doing a, you know, a kick, they might do this for like, I don't know, down 4-4, right? So be careful. After that, just know what your options are. Sometimes sidestep blocking is usually good, because even if she does this, you just block it. So doing this, and she does this, because you're sidestepping so much, like sidestep left block, or sidestep right block, any of the options. Also block it. Okay, before I go transition to this move, which I will, I want to talk about the way you usually want to sidestep Asuka. Because down forward 1, for example, is step to the right. Usually you do want to step to the direction that down forward 1 gets avoided by. And even this situation, I would advise to go to the right. And I guess Asuka in general, one to the right is good. In my opinion. So even after this sidestep right block is the right way to go. But now let's talk about this. THC, Kaz can electric back 3, but she has options to avoid it as well because she can high crush. I'll talk about back 3 in a bit. Cupid, hello. So, let's talk about this move. So this move is a tracking high. It doesn't really have a confident property, but the hit property is strong enough for it to be, you know, pretty strong. Because this guarantees that this and just gives good Oki in general. And I think you can even get a combo from here. If you're good enough. With something like this. But I think you might need an angle or something like that. I'm not quite sure. But I'm pretty sure some Asuka players, there we go. Get a combo, yep. Bomb, something like this. So it's pretty scary. This is a very good move. But outside of the hit, it's also very good on block. +3. You guys can see this, right? You're -3, Asuka's +3. This is insane because not only is it +3, you're also close. Unlike something like an electric, which is +5, right? Why can't I electric? There we go. It's +5, but leaves them like half a screen away. Like the distance is almost 3, right? You can't really use the plus frames for frame traps that much here. Like unlike an electric, this is +3, but very close so that she can actually use moves for frame traps. And the most common one Asuka players use is backboard. This is one of the most common ones. So something like this into this, you'll see it a lot. Also, it's very hard to step to the right, which is, you know, Asuka's weak side. You can still do it. It's doable, but you have to sidewalk. Like that. It's way harder to step in general. It will still track you sometimes. It's a very weird tracking. And if you do something slow, like I don't know, even the 13 frame down forward 1, on our case, down forward 4, you will get countered here. And this will trade with a magic 4, which is a 12 frame magic 4 obviously. If you have an 11 frame magic 4, you'll beat it. This is very common. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention that this does track well to the right, but you can sidestep it to the left and a little bit more consistent if you sidewalk though. If you sidestep it will track you still. Like sidestep it just doesn't work in general. You have to sidewalk. And it works a little bit more consistently to the left than to the right, but this is very specific. What's a magic 4? A magic 4 is basically just a 4. You press 4, this is a magic 4. It's just called a magic 4. That's what it's called. Same with this, Asuka. This is just a 4. Magic 4. I wonder if we're gonna change the term in Tekken 8 because magic 4s aren't that magic anymore. The term magic 4 comes because they're all counter launchers, most of them. But yeah, Tekken 8, they won't be so magic anymore. Okay, so this is one of the most common things you have to look out for. And of course, the Asuka player can do something like a down forward 1, right? So if you sidewalk left, it still will work here because of the weird angle. While sidewalk right will not work here. Which is like very interesting because forward to forward kind of changes the sidestep direction you want to go to. So you have to be careful. So that about covers the 1-3 and the mind games there. Because as I said, this is an option, right? This is a very common option, this is a common option. Or down forward ones and jabs, like 2-1 or just another one. Like this into another one. Or this into another one, 1-1. So these are common. But now let's talk about this. So obviously I told you to not press after 1-1 because of this extension. But 1-1 by itself, it's -7. The Asuka player might use the fact that you're not pressing after this to just continue pressuring you. Which is, you know, a good thing to do for Asuka. But just be aware that it's a thing. So if you do sometimes mash after this, it's not the worst thing in the world, but be aware that you're risking being counter-launched with this. But now let's see what's gonna happen when you block this. This 1-1-3. So when you block it, you are -5, not +5. Asuka is -5. In this situation, you can also press a lot of buttons to check Asuka, but Asuka has a million setups after this. Most common ones include this. Very common. So this, into this. If you played against Asuka, most likely this has happened to you. Like 95% of Tekken players have seen this string. Oh, this flowchart in general. If they played it long enough against Asuka in general, you know? Very common. And it works really well because if you do something like a down forward 1 or down forward 4 in our case, right? 13 frame check, it actually beats it. All these checks, it will beat. This is usually common when there's a wall behind you because this is a wall bounce. Very fast, high wall bounce. So that's very common. And something like a parry here might also work because, you know, you mash and try to check him, you will get parried. Parry is also something, or they can just continue pressure because you're respecting it so much. But one of the biggest things, I think, the best thing you can do here is just a sidestep. Like do a mini sidestep right. So something like this, for example, will lift. But this is very easily whiffable. So if you do a mini sidestep right here, something like this will lift, and you're not risking too much. But of course, you're giving the Asuka player more opportunity to pressure you. So if they do this, you just dash in and mix you up. It can't work because you're not pressing anything. You're gonna get mixed. Or if they do something like this as well. So be aware of that. 1-1-3 in general, it's like a flowchart starter, is what I like to call them. Like one of the strings that character has that starts a flowchart. Like a flowchart mind game, basically. This is the most common one. It's like no contest. This is the most common one. Of course, she can also do this here as well, because why not? It's plus. And if you sidewalk, it will just hit you. Why not? But if you sidestep duck, obviously you're gonna beat it. Yeah, that's just one of the options. So be aware of that. Okay. Now let's talk about this move, which is very, very annoying. Back 3 is one of the most annoying panic moves to deal with in the neutral. Because when this whiffs, this is not that easy to punish. Even something like forward 3, right? Which is a very good punisher. Usually you can punish this with forward 3, right? Kazuya forward 3. Sometimes can whiff because of the weird, I don't know, properties this move has. But the forward 3, it's a very good punisher in general, even on block. So on block, I was talking about on whiff, right? On whiff, forward 3 works, it's easy. But on block, you have a full options. You can dash electric here, and it will work as a punish, and do it fast enough. Let me try to do it fast enough. There we go, punish. God damn it. But it's not that easy to do. And the worst part is, this is not guaranteed. There we go, that was a punish too. It's doable, but it's not that easy to do. Because you need to dash first. But this is not guaranteed because of this follow-up here. So this follow-up makes an electric whiff because of the high push. So for consistent punishment, you need a mid here. And you also need a mid that will reach this. So something like this won't work. Or something like this. Or something like this. You need a long-range mid. And you have to find it for your own character. But for Gaz, obviously I'm gonna tell you. For Gaz, it's 4-3. This is your most consistent punish. The easiest and most consistent punish is 4-3. It's very, very good to do. Because the thing is, if you fuck up the electric, for example, like do it like too late, you may even get countered. And Sawyer, if you mess up that as well, like a Weiwu instant while staying 1-2, you also get countered into a free launch. Don't do that. Do not do that. And yeah, 4-4-2 also whiffs. As you guys can see. I think even a power push with this character, man. You guys see this? Why is this whiffing? This fucking character. Yeah, 4-4-2 doesn't work. 4-3 is your best option. CD was saying 1-2 in 90 frames, I'm not sure. But yeah, when it comes to back 3, be careful. Even I don't punish it with 4-3 a lot of the times. I'm gonna be honest, I don't. But I should. Because 4-3 is like the best most consistent punch there. So if you're still not used to doing it, it's okay. As long as you know that it's the thing you're supposed to do, it works. Okay. So that's about back 3. More or less, this is a panic move when it comes to a lot of situations. Like this into back 3 is also something you can encounter. It can definitely work. What else panic moves? Can-can, yeah. And can-can is also one of those panic moves you can also encounter when it comes to those moves. Like this, not this, it's this into can-cans, for example. Or for example, this into can-cans also works. Or this into can-cans, I've seen that as well. Very, very common for can-cans to just throw out. And it's very annoying because of the fact that a lot of people get hit by this without them knowing why they got hit by this. The thing is that you have to hold back against it. Like, if you dash, you just stand there, neutral guard, you'll get hit. Right? I'm not holding back here. I got launched for free. You have to hold back here. If you're not holding back, you get launched for free. It's very annoying. Or if you don't hold back fast enough. Let's say You hold back like a split second too late. Start holding back anyway. You get launched for free. So be very careful for this. It's very annoying to deal with because it's also safe. It's a low high, but it's -6. But if you duck it, you get free launch. Oh yeah, it does slow crush as well. I didn't know, Zoyo. I didn't know this has the fast slow crush in the game. But yeah, it does crush lows as well. It's very, very annoying. So if you do this, can, do something like down 3, like this will crush you. But if you do hold back, you won't get launched for it. Right? An Asuka player will be like, why the fuck is this happening? Why didn't I get a launch? But it's not countered, that's why. But obviously if you get countered, it's gonna be launched. Okay. So be aware of that. This is very, very important about Kankan. Because there's a lot of setups with this too. Like, literally everything into Kankan is a setup. Like, I've even seen this into Kankan. Like this on block, Kankan. It works because pushback. This is what I call a pushback line. Even if you're -9, hell, even if you're like -14, you can do a pushback mind game. Because people usually dash forward before pressing their buttons. And this just works. So be aware of stuff like that. Or this into down forward too, I've seen that as well. Okay, what else? Yeah, let's talk about down back 1 a bit more. So this move, as I said, is very common after this, for example. But it's very common in general after moves, like this one too, because of high crushing properties. So if you do this, like do this into this. This is a pure high crush, and any high you do will just not work. And as I said, the Asuka player can confirm this. This is a wall splatting move, so be very careful. But and this by itself is just -9. It's very strong. This is one of the best mids Asuka has in my opinion. Down back 1. Very, very strong. But obviously the weakness it has is that it's step ball to her weak side, which is side step right. And you can whip punish it with highs. If this was not whip punishable by highs, it would be a disaster. It would be a huge disaster. It would be like Asuka's back 1, but on crack. Not Asuka, Alisa's back 1, but on crack. So yeah, be aware of this, and usually side step right is the way you want to go. But just be careful that they won't always finish this. So maybe press sometimes, but be careful because it's a counter launcher. If you press, maybe do something like a high crush, just in case they finish it. Okay, wall stand 1+2. Yeah, wall stand 1+2. This is also very, very common. Let's just transition to this while we're at it. So this is a very, very common move by Asuka. It's only -2. Yeah, it's safe. It's -2, and it has this countered launch with a 3 perfect electric, right? With 1,000,000 damage. Look at this damage. 90 damage. Basically perfect electric without any just frames or anything. This move is very strong. And it's very hard to sidestep as well, because it's usually used in like mid-screen, where she kind of tracks you anyway. So it's very hard to step. And it has a slight tracking to the right as well. Like, I can't emulate the tracking it has that well in practice mode, but it tracks very, very well. And usually you do want to step to the left instead of to the right. Because, as I said, a slight tracking to the right. But it's just a very good move in general. This one. Because, on counter it kind of kills you. And people after this have a lot of setups. A lot of setups. So if you block this, maybe a 1-2 is a good option, right? Either a 1-2, magic 4, stuff like that. Basically something fast. Yeah, it can also be cancelled. That is true, Song. I was about to talk about it after the block. But yeah, it can also be cancelled. Like that. Isn't that fun? Look at this. That looks fun. Okay, first let's talk about the block situation. So on block, since you're -2, usually your best options to do are something fast, which is usually highs. And that's why Asuka players kinda go for this option right here. So let's say, oh my goodness, this gets blocked, then the Asuka player will just keep on crouching. Not keep on crouching, oh my god. Block it, damn it. That only happens when it cancels. Like, Asuka player has options there, basically. I remembered wrong that she can keep on crouching here, because there are a lot of moves where she has the option to keep on crouching. But one of the options is also a can-can, which I talked about. Like, if you do something way too slow, can-can hits you. All of these options, down back forward, for example, down back 3. Down forward 1 beats it, but something like that, down forward 3 won't beat it. So you have to be very careful here. Not to mention, this tracks really well to the right. So if you sidestep right block, something like this will happen. Which is, you know, very weird. I think it says -14. You can't really launch that. So if you sidestep left, something like that still might happen. That's very weird tracking, but you have the sidewalk, basically. A good old can-can. And they might even do this. Which is also very good in this situation because you usually use highs, as I said. Right? But if you go to the left, exactly, so you kind of do what that skip player wants because this tracks you to the left. So if they do this into this, you can't go to the left. This will track you. You get the tracking it has. If you sidewalk, it can work, right? So sidewalk left isn't that bad of an option. But it's like much less consistent than something like, you know, sidestep right. Or something like that anyway. And sidewalk left also works. But then the Asuka players do stuff like, you know, maybe this. It will also hit you if you go in sidestep one direction. But sidewalking is one of the things that's really, really good here. Sidewalk left is pretty decent. 1+2? I think 1+2 doesn't track here either. No. On block, sidewalk left is very, very good option. But as I talked about on sidewalking, the general issue of sidewalking is not being able to block tracking moves, which is something like this. But if you do something like a sidewalk block, which is like not that easy to do, you can of course block it. It looks kind of weird, right? This block right now. But it's doable. It's gonna be hard, especially when you play on PS4, for example. Most of the time you'll get hit like that. So be careful. A sidewalk block, sidewalk duck will beat that. But be aware of that. And something like a down forward 2, for example, will also catch you, which is very annoying in my opinion. That's why it will catch you. But you have to go right against this. So that's why a sidewalk block is so important. But this is even harder to do than forward 4. Like this down forward 2 is very annoying, it's just -6. And you know, it does decent enough damage to actually consider this a threat. 60 damage, something like that. Without walls. For a safe mid normal hit launcher, it's pretty good. It's only -6. Not only is it safe. So yeah, down forward 2, also not the best thing. But sidewalk left usually is the way you want to go, but just be aware of what the Asuka player wants to do. And now down back 2? Oh, down back 2 is basically an unsafe version of this. So if the Asuka player does this, they're basically thinking you're gonna do a jab or a magic 4 or something like that. Fuji, they can do it. I mean, if the Asuka player wants bigger reward, they can do this instead of this. But it basically serves the same kind of function, but the biggest difference is this is punishable. I think it's -11. Yep. you get back one to its gods. But this is much better to do, much safer because no one will hit confirm. But if they want a bigger, you know, something bigger like a launch, they can use this. I don't know how to combo here. Something like that, maybe? I'm not sure. Doesn't track? Yeah, this does not track from what I know. Yep. Sidewalk left beats that as well. So the things you have to look out for is these two moves, or in general, just more pressure. But they can even do this on that. This into this. Because you're sidewalking left into a block, those just will hit you. This is a tracking low, basically. You can't avoid this. Unless you sidewalk to the right, which is her weak side, but as I say, you don't really want to sidewalk right here. Right? So this just tracks really well there. How do I sidestep that? What the fuck? Okay. Bruh. So inconsistent. Okay. I think I just kept sidewalking, that's why. Yeah, her down back 3 is really good, especially since it got buffed recently. It's a very good move. Yeah. Now let's talk about the cancel. The thing about Asuka is she has a lot of cancels. Like, this cancel is also one of them. Back 1 cancel. And this is also one of them. 1+2 cancel. The funny part is she can do this. Like a back 1 cancel into 1+2 cancel. She can actually do this. Right? It looks funny as hell. This, into something like this. And Asuka players actually utilize stuff like this to mess with your head. Right? Do stuff like this, maybe do it again, and then just, you know, hit you. They actually utilize that. But now let's talk about the cancels in general. What the cancels do is very, very simple. They lift her in crouch while making you also frozen because you're expecting something to come out, like, you know, this to come out. But instead of that, they go into crouch and mix you up. The basic mix-up is full crouch down forward 2, which is a very, very strong move. Which is do 0 on hit, does like 10 damage, not the best of damage, right? But what makes it so strong is its counter property. So all this, I forgot the input. It's while staying 1, right? 1-4, I forgot the input. There you go. This is guaranteed. All of this is guaranteed. And especially if she has rage. Something like a rage drive there is also guaranteed. Right? Just insane. That low is insane. Very, very strong low. And the biggest thing about this low is that it's not that much minus. It's minus 11. I can't TP this. It would make sense if I could TP it, but I can't. It's minus 11. So if you block it, you don't get that big of a punishment. Gods, you do get a 4-4, but it's still not that big. Of course, if you low parry it is the best way to deal with like fast waves that aren't that much minus. You know, you actually deal damage to it. But this is very strong. Also, you guys see this? This is guaranteed. That down forward 2, if you do crouch cancel down forward 2, this is guaranteed, but you have to be very fast. There we go. So all this will be guaranteed if the Asuka player actually does it. Into the wall. Insane. Insane low. Like if the Asuka player actually like practices it, it's very, very scary. Of course it's not easy to do, you have to crouch cancel down forward 2. But even I can do it, I never play this character. I never do. So it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Okay. So this is one of the options they have after this, right? They do this and do this. One of the options, because it's a very good low with a decent counter property, not bad on block. It has decent tracking as well, but I'm gonna be honest, you won't be stepping this anyway. Like, it's not worth stepping this at all. And in this situation, you won't be stepping most of the time, because you're gonna be frozen, because you're gonna think, you know, this is gonna come out. The other one they have, if you duck, is this right here. This is their mid mix-up, especially at the wall. So they do this, and if you duck, this just hits you. And this is a safe mid, -9. This is an insane mid that the Asuka players have, from full crouch, by the way. It's very good. You can sidestep it to the right, like that, but it's very hard to step. But on block, it's -9, it's safe, and it's a wall bounce. You don't have walls right now, but this wall bounces into, you know, a combo, do 1,000,000 damage. This mid is insane for what it does. It mixes up well with something like this, or even something like this. If of course, if you're ducking, this just hits you. It's not a mix-up for lows, basically. So be very, very aware of this mid. Very aware. It's very strong. The other options Asuka players also have from full crouch is down 1+2, which is like done from normal standing, or full crouch. Both work. So something like this into down 1+2. It's pretty common, because the thing down 1+2 hates is either steppers, right? You can step this, or backdashers. And what this does is this kind of freezes you. So if you don't backdash much and you just stop to block that, like you're just holding back, you're way more susceptible to something like this. So something like backdashing will beat it, obviously, if you backdash a lot. But most of the time you'll be frozen and get hit by this. Yeah, this is for YouTube, Zoya. Yeah, Zoya, I do agree. This low has a reactable animation. That is true. The only thing I know about this is it's way harder to react to when it's from full crouch, but when it's from here, I can react to it a little bit easier. But this only on PC. You can't react to this on PS4. Not to mention even something like this. This PC only on good 5 bars. You have to have a good 5 bar and it's gonna be PC only. So be careful about even trying to react to it. But it's possible. I'm not saying it's not. But sometimes you just duck and this will hit you. Which is the mid mix-up Asuka players have or something like that. Like this and this, they use it as a mix-up. This is a safe mid launcher. So yeah. Countless times. You can, that's it. I mean, if you can, that's it. But usually it's very hard to do. Like someone like a lot of like Ranchu said that something like this wasn't reactable anymore, for example, right? When it was like 21 frames on PS4. Something like this is very hard to react to as well, even on PS4. Like it's just much harder, much harder. So yeah, be careful about something like that. Like if you think something like this is reactable, and you try to react to it and it doesn't work, you'll get abused by lows. Or something like this, even something like this will get abused. You'll get abused by it. Just be careful about that. But if you can, of course, I'm not saying anything. You can just react to it. Why not? The other options Asuka players also have when like something like this gets cancelled is a wall standing through, which is also common because something like this may happen. You react to this with jabs, right? Or something like this. And that's why this is common. This is basically an option against mashers who mash highs. So be very, very aware of that. No one can do it except DFB. Oh, one more thing about, by the way. When it comes to reactions, you're usually ready to react to stuff like this. When you're ready to react to stuff like this, you're also not ready to block lows, which is also one of the weaknesses that trying to react to something does to you. If you try to react to something specific, you're also not ready to react to something that's not react, but block something that's not that. So basically you're just gonna be holding back, trying to look for that, especially when something this fast. And you won't be ready to block something like, I don't know, something like this, or this, or this, or this, even this. You won't be ready for it. You'll just get abused by this because you're looking for just this. So be aware of getting yourself stuck in a reaction mindset. It's really not that good a mindset to be into most of the time. Because reactions aren't that simple. They're really not. For example, if I do a lot of down fours, and you're just, you know, ducking because you're seeing down fours, like hell you're gonna react to this. You're gonna be just fuzzy ducking because I'm doing so many down fours, you won't even see this coming. Because you're gonna do this, get up, and get hit by this, right? A lot of things go into reactions. But yeah, you have to be careful. Okay. About other options from full crouch, I think that's usually it. She can also do the full crouch low, like this one. But usually that's it, more or less. They can also do wall standing 4 here, like this into wall standing 4. I've seen that as well. There's like a few options they do. It's the same with back one cancels, exactly the same. And it's the same with the snake edge cancels. How do snake edge? What's Asuka snake edge? I forgot. The snake edge also has a cancel. There we go. Something like that. It's exactly the same kind of mind game. Oh, 3-4 flicker, thank you. So exactly the same kind of mind game. You're gonna duck this, get up, and you might most likely get hit by this, right? That's why it's so common for this to happen. Like you're ducking snake edge, you're getting up, because, you know, the snake edge didn't come out. And then you get hit by this. Very common. So be aware of these kind of mix-ups in general. Unusually fast. It's not that fast. 26 frames. I think when it comes to snake edges, maybe it's fast. When it comes to like comparing it to like Lily's, maybe even Brian's, I'm not sure. But this cancel makes it a bit scary. Even if you react to it, right? Then you get up, you get hit by this. It's fast in the game. I think Anna's also fast. Anna down back 3, I think. 25 frames. I'm not sure. So yeah, that's usual like cancel mind game, and it's very much connected to full crouch mind game. Tech traps with the snake edge. Yeah, there are a lot of setups with the snake edge as well. Like if you do like certain things, the snake edge might just hit you. I'm not too sure about them. As I said, I don't know everything. Like especially like very niche things like that, I don't know. Like after what is what. But there are stuff like that. 100% there are stuff like that. So that's about the full crouch mind game, more or less. But now let's talk about one of her best mids. I said that this is her best mid, in my opinion. But it's a very, very close contender with this. This is an insane mid. Yeah, 4-4-3. This mid is one of those mids that are unbeatable. But this is even better than even some of them. Like, King's 4-4-1 is also one of those mids that's like an unbeatable mid. You can't really do anything about it unless you interrupt it midway. But at least 4-4-1 of King's isn't as fast as this from what I remember. This is an insane move. So it's ballerina spins. The tracking mid. It's safe. You can't really backdash it because it's insane range. If you backdash it, you're a monster, basically. But most of the time, the Asuka player is the one messing it up. Like right now, it's just the AI, that's why I'm backdashing. But yeah, you can't sidestep it. You can't do anything about it. And it's -9, so it's safe. And I forgot, it's a counter launcher. I think this does a lot of damage, like something like this, right? Decent enough damage. The 4-4-3, insane. Insane move. And one of the most common setups for 4-4-3 on hit is the wall standing 1+2. Something like this. You get hit, if you press something, goodbye. Right? Very common. so common. And you can't even sidestep this, by the way. Unsteppable. You see this? So you have to just hold back and take it. You just have to take the block, unless you power crush. The only thing that beats this is the power crush or a rage art. Both of them will beat it. So if you have a good power crush, maybe do it, but Kazuya's isn't the best. You do get a knockdown and like a free pass from pressure, but I'm not sure. It's worth it sometimes. There's something like this into this is also something she can do. Right? Because I think the same kind of mind game get countered here. Almost like 100% of the time. But this is like a bear thing to do. Like 100% bear thing to do. Can she also knee there? Yeah, she can also do this. Oh no. She can't knee. She's full crouch. That's why they do 1+2. She's full crouch. She's crouching? Yeah, that's why this works. She's crouching. Yeah, I thought you can avoid the crouch. But apparently you can't. Yeah, frame data does show standing, but I am crouching. So yeah, it's good to know. That setup is the most common one, this one. And you can't really do anything about it except you power crush. But the other thing is, it does something like this into like crouch cancel, right? The backdash is very, very good here. Because of the space created. You don't evade highs, but you can't use standing moves. You don't evade highs here? Wait. I thought you did. Yeah, you don't. Now whiff anyway. Okay. So yeah, this move is just weird like that. But just be aware of this. That's the most common thing. And if you respect it too much, they'll just crouch cancel down back 3 on you or something like very similar to that, right? But no matter what, just backdash once. Backdashing once after that is like something you should be doing anyway. Man. I'll talk about that. Talk about this. Usually the way to beat this is if you can backdash it, make the Asuka player with it, but it's very, very hard to backdash something like this. It on block, you just have to play the -9 mind game, which is a lot of stuff for Asuka. Like she can parry there, right, on block. She can do, I don't know, she can do a jab just to check you. She can just do a backdash. She can do any of these parries as well. Which are insane parries, gonna be honest. Like something like this into this can also work, especially if you delay your options. Damn, where's my button? Of course, if you're fast enough, it won't work, but it might work. And sidestep 2 is also an option they have, so -9 mind game is a little bit weird when it comes to Asuka. You can break the key charge tackle. Oh yeah, key charge tackle is also a thing. I don't know how to do it specifically. It's a key charge into a button, but yeah, it's stuff like that. Can I try? I have no clue. How do I do that? Okay, next one we're gonna talk about is these two moves. The two moves that look similar. But 3+4 is the one that you will always see. I tried it. Did not work. Key charge down like 2+4. Okay. Let's talk about this move though. So 4-4-3 I talked about, it's very hard to deal with, but you have to play the -9 mind game. And down back 2 in general with Asuka, not Asuka. With Kaz is a very good -9 mind game. Same with 4-4, same with Electric. And of course, if they respect you, you can also go for the mix-up with the health sweeps 4-4-3, down back 2, down back 4. All these things are decent -9 options. Okay, but now let's talk about this move, which is also a very, very strong mid. Like, this is a very strong mid, this is a very strong mid she has, and also this. This is insane. Because this on hit, let's talk about the on hit option. Guarantees a forward 2. Like, this is guaranteed. It's not even that hard to do, right? I made it hard. I made it look hard, but it's not hard. You just have to dash before doing it. That's a lot of damage, like 47. And this move is -6, right? It's -6. It has the option to also go crouch. Right? So this move, even on whiff, you can't electric this. Let's say you sidestep. No electric. Nope. Because it can go into crouch. Has the option to do it. And that's one of the scariest part about this move too, because Asuka can choose to not go into crouch. So she has the option to either down forward 2, just don't go crouch down forward 2, or go into crouch into the crouch move, like something like this. So she has the freedom of choice here to just do either a standing move or a while standing move. But against me, she must, for example, it's one of the best things to go into crouch after this, because if it whiffs, you can't electric it. So yeah, be careful about this, especially as Gus, you can't electric it. So if this whiffs, like you sidestep it, you have to down forward 1-2. Just gotta. Don't have any other option here. Because the electrics won't work. If you delay half kick, maybe it will work, but why would you delay half kick there, right? And you risk getting punished for it. But yeah. Now let's talk about this move on block. So this move on block, of course it's -6. But Asuka is Asuka. And Asuka will always find a way to use minus frames against you. Because when she's not crouched, she can parry. You press something, you'll get parried. With either this, or either this. I mean, these two are the scary ones. I'm just happy that not a lot of Asuka players use these two. Like, I'm so super happy they don't use this. Instead, they use the shitty one, which is this. But I'm gonna talk about that parry a little bit later. But yeah, those options exist, so you have to look out for parries. So sidestepping is not a bad option there at all. Sidestep left or sidewalk left or sidewalk right. Not bad at all. But then you have to like look out for like actual full crouch mix-ups, even though the Asuka player is minus. They can't do this. Not to mention if you just press highs, like the 1-2. Right? Any kind of high. They can't do this. It's a high crushing option, so why not? But if you check with mids, start to like a down forward 4, those parries will kind of get you. So be careful. Yeah, this character doesn't need to block. Like, she has options against buttons in literally every minus frame situation, more or less. And that's why Asuka players usually are so mashy. It's just how it is. It's the character. She has the options to do it. Why not? The full crouch mix-up, like this into full crouch, works exactly the same way as I talked about last time. When she goes into full crouch, she has all those options. But in normal, she has like down forward 2, magic 4, and these moves I already talked about, right? The back 4, stuff like that. But be aware of this. Be way aware of this. But now we'll talk about back 4, which is also very common. So this is a safe counter with launcher by itself. It's -7, which I don't know why it's safe. It makes no sense. Because it has follow-ups. So not only is it safe, it has mind games attached to it. On block, so you can't really press anything after it immediately. Because this exists. Let's see you see this, and she just delays that. You just get hit. Because this is delayable. Right? But of course the mind game here is very simple when it comes to back 4 straight. This is punishable, -12. So if you do see this, you should be punishing it almost all the time. Almost. Why do I say almost? I say almost because there's also an extension to this as well. which is a 3. This one right here. But most Asuka players will not continue here. But it is a mind game, they might still do it. But this is launch punishable. Minus 16, you just launch with an electric. Right? The block stun isn't that hard to launch this. So the electric works really well. But as I said, most of the time you punish this. Because Asuka players will be afraid to finish it. But if you punish it too much, they might finish it, but that's the mind game. That's just how it is. You just have to guess if they finish it or not. You can't really react to them not finishing. Or finishing. Not really doable. It doesn't matter. That's about back 4 in general. And when I talk about forward 4, back 4, this also has a slight tracking to the right. But usually you can still step it. Usually. Even to the right or to the left. More or less. It's just forward 4 on block that changes the situation, because this changes the angle. If you guys look closely, after forward 4 gets blocked, As sidesteps to the left automatically. You guys see this, right? Like if I do forward 4 enough, Kaz is slowly stepping to the left by himself. Which is why it's hard to step things to the right after it. Because, you know, you're going to the left automatically, so it's harder to step to the right. It's just a unique situation after forward 4. Okay. What else to talk about? Up forward 3, I almost forgot. Dude, how many good mids does this character have now that I think about it? So, we talked about this amazing mid. This amazing mid. Now let's talk about this. Oh, I talked about this. This is also an amazing mid. Now up forward 3. So this is a counter launcher. Right? Does decent damage. Not bad. 63 with this combo. It's 20 frames fast. It's not that slow. It's decent. It's +8 on hit. And most importantly, it's -3 on block. Sanju, you can sidestep right if you play in P1, but you can't sidestep right if you're ducking. So ducking to sidestep right doesn't work. But usually, just normally sidestep to the right. Yeah, now let's talk about this move. This move has a lot of mind games. It has the same kind of mind games as like something like this has, for example. But this is -5, if you have a little bit more frames here. But this is -3. So the mind games, the most common one is the sidestep 2. This is the most common. Because you can't do shit about this. There's no button you can press that has decent tracking outside of tracking moves. Normally, anyway. Something like Kazuya's down forward 1 works here because how slow it is. But if you do something slow, not slow, fast, usually doesn't work. Usually. This is very, very common. But you know, if you do a tracking move like Kazuya's down forward 2, obviously it will work. Obviously. But this move is an amazing keep-out move. It's an amazing starter tool for like pressure because it's only -3 with mind games after it. And it's a counter launcher. And it's not that easy to step. Like it's steppable, don't get me wrong. But it's not that easy to step, and it kind of tracks to his her weak side a little bit better than sidestep left. So this is a very good move. Very, very good move to abuse as an Asuka player. Yeah, Hell Sweep Killer. That's a very good name for it because you can't really Hell Sweep against her because she can just spam this. I almost forgot to mention. This recovers very well on whiff. That was not a whiff punish. Not a whiff punish. That was a punish. That was not. You see this, right? It's a very, very hard to whiff punish this most of the time, especially with something like a electric, because you need to be in range, 1, and you need to do it very fast. You have to like react to this very, very fast in your backdashes, or even in your side steps. Like these were not punishes. You can be crushed by a lot of moves. You play a character that has crushing moves that can be this, yeah, like Safina. And the QCF4, damn. But yeah, it has a high hitbox. It's a mid with a high hitbox, but us can't really utilize it that much. Maybe something like this to crush it. Nope. Crush it! There we go! Damn it! There we go. Yeah, inconsistent crush. The most crushing move Kazuya has is this. But this doesn't crush consistently. But sometimes does. Sometimes does. Okay. What else? I talked about this, which is also one of the best mids. This. Very good mids in general. Asuka has very, very good mids. The problem she has is opening you up with a lot of lows, which usually she struggles with because she has to kind of use this a lot. Because if you backdash a lot, so in general gameplay against Asuka, you backdash a lot. And the main reason for it is she can't do this. Like if you backdash it, let's see, don't duck. This usually guarantees forward 2. But if you backdash a lot, and you get hit by like this kind of shit, that forward 2 is not guaranteed anymore. So even if you get hit by that, it's a little bit of a knockdown, but it's okay. It's like no big deal. So backdash a lot, it's a very, very good idea against Asuka. Because then she's forced to, do cancels and risk a lot of, shenanigans and down back 3s to actually open you up. And usually down back 3 is the best option she has, which is, a good move. Minus 12, 17 damage, full forced crouch, minus 4 for you, counter plus 14, not bad. As I said, it's recently got buffed, I think by 1 or 2 frames, I don't remember. But not a bad move at all. But obviously it's gonna be very, very scary for her to do this because of either high counter hits like Steve back 1, Armor King back 1, Miguel back 1, and Magic 4s, or something like Electrics. Because Electrics will just put that, it doesn't high crush. But then comes this kind of lows. Like she can also do these for high crushes. Or this. Or this. Oh, one thing I almost forgot to mention. I forgot to mention it because I was talking about back 1 cancels, but I didn't talk about back 1 itself. So this move is very, very good. This does 4-2 damage on counter hit. This doesn't happen that much because how slow it is, right? But it's also safe on block. It's only minus 10. Well, it's not safe, but it's minus 10. You can only down jab punish it unless you're playing Lee or lane. So usually you want to low parry this. But be aware that you cannot punish this. You cannot punish it block thing 4, I mean. You can down jab punish it, but still. Okay, what was I talking about? Down back 4. So this move is very, very important for Asuka players when they want to high crush. Because they do this, usually, for either setups or usual high crush pokes. But of course it's not that good because it creates space. You guys can see it creates a lot of space, so if you backdash once, a lot of stuff will live for Asuka. And it's 0. It's not even plus, but at least it's minus 11. Right? It's not minus 13, so it's not that bad for Asuka. But if the Asuka player is like very, what's it called, greedy, they might continue this streak. And the thing is, you have to know about this, is that this is safe. You cannot punish this. It's not even minus 10, it's minus 7. And it comes in like all forms of this, like even something like this. You have to back 3. This is also safe. Minus 7. But what you can do is you can low parry this on hit. This is doable. Of course, it's not always good to do this because just one down back 4 will create mind game situations you can low parry after. But since it's safe, you can low parry it on hit. So it's very, very good to know something like that. And after this on hit, of course, Asuka players have a full crouch mind game because they have the option to stay crouching, or normal standing mind game because they also have the option to stay standing. It's kind of the same with this. It's very, very similar. So something like this is possible, but something like this is also possible. So be very, very aware. The most common ones is staying crouching into this and mixing it up with this. This is like the most common one. Other than that, I want to talk about the rage drive too, but I'll like do it a little bit later in the end. I'll think about if I have anything else left. Oh yeah, the setups. I forgot. These unblockable setups, right? There are some setups Asuka players do with this. That's very, very annoying. In combos, usually. So maybe something like this. Something like this, I guess. I don't know what kind of combos. Into this. Something like this. I think this is a mix-up. So the mix-up here is very, very simple. In that situation here, let's say this is like a combo ending situation, right? You either have the option to stand up or stay down. And if you stay down, she also has an option to do this, which will float you. That's a combo reset there. But in here, you have to have a very, very big awareness, not big awareness, good awareness. So when she does this, it's basically a guess. The Asuka player is guessing what you're gonna do. If you stand up, let's say this happens, right? You stand up, be aware that you can duck this. Even on hit. Wait, let me just demonstrate it a little bit better. Delay it a bit. This. Third hit. It's very, very important to duck it. Because a lot of Asuka players finish this. In those situations. If you guess wrong for the unblockable, of course you're gonna get hit. The Asuka player does it correctly anyway. Sometimes you can sidestep it. Like you can get up into a sidestep left, and sometimes you can avoid it. But if the Asuka player does it correctly, you can't avoid it. So it's more or less a guess. But if you guess right and she does this, be aware to duck the third one. This third high right here. Like this is not a mix-up. A lot of people think this and this is a mix-up. It's not. Because this high, even on hit, is duckable. So be very, very aware of this. What else? Any good options after that though? You mean after this? I mean, I think usually backdash is your best option. Because as I said, it creates space and a lot of stuff will work. So backdash duck would be great too. Instead of sidestepping, backdashing is the best thing. And now let's talk about rage, and I think that's gonna be it. Talk about a lot of stuff about Asuka. Like a lot. So when she has rage, she gets a very, very good rage drive. Like this rage drive is one of the best in my opinion. It's very good damage, even on hit. I'm pretty sure there's better damage to this. I can do 80, I'm pretty sure. Maybe with something like this. Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, very strong rage drive. It's a mid, it's fast, 21. It's not, you know, it's faster than 441 for example. It's fast. And the biggest buff she gets in rage is her combos. So if she does like something like this, right? These combos, she can but finish everything with this, which deals a million damage. Million damage. And I already showed you guys something like this, right? This. I don't think that works in that situation, but yeah, that would be like 90 damage or down 4-3. I already showed you guys that. So she gets a huge buff when it comes to combos. So you have to be very careful when it comes to a lot of stuff. And even some of her parries, like from here, get this guaranteed. And also something like this gets that guaranteed if she does it fast enough. I'm not sure about the timing though. There we go. Right? Something like this is guaranteed. So be very careful. The knockdown knee she has. What knockdown knee? You mean this? This down 4-3. I don't think this is the knee, but I think this is what you mean. So this move, some Asuka players, I haven't covered it actually. This move is one of the mids that you can use. Of course, you have other mids that you can use, like this one instead, or this one. Maybe this one. But down forward 3 is also one of the moves you can't lose. Which is a safe mid, it's -8, creates a -8 mind game. It's the same with the -9 mind game in my opinion, more or less. At least for Kaz. And it can be used as a mix-up to down back 3 because it's the same frames. Of course, it doesn't have a very similar animation or anything like that, so you can't really... You know, if you're ducking, you can kind of stand up sometimes. But sometimes you also get hit. But be aware of this. And this move also can be stepped more or less easily, but has a little bit of tracking to the right. So if you sidestep block, this will still catch you. If you sidewalk, it won't catch you. That's about down forward 3. But yeah, I think that's about it. When it comes to rage drive, you have to be very careful about this, obviously, but it's also very steppable. Very, very steppable. Both sides. But that was a knee, and it's not. It kind of looks like a knee because of the hit, what it's called, hit animation. The middle animation is on her knee, so I guess it makes sense that you would think it's a knee, but I don't think it is. But yeah, I think that's about it. I talked a lot about Asuka right now. I'm pretty sure I still missed a lot of stuff. I'm 100% sure. But yeah, the most common stuff and some important stuff I think I covered, more or less anyway. So hopefully it's helpful. Hopefully, and yeah, see you guys next time.